Gardening should be a joy, not a struggle. If bending, lifting, or keeping up with tools feels harder than it used to, these 13 genius gardening hacks will make everything easier. From saving your back to simplifying upkeep, these tricks will change the way you garden. Picture this. You're in the middle of tending to your favorite flower bed, snipping dead blooms or pulling weeds, when you suddenly realize you need your pruners. The thought of trekking back to the shed feels exhausting. Here's a simple trick that has made my gardening days so much easier. Place a weatherproof mailbox right in your garden. That's right, a mailbox. Mount it on a sturdy post or a nearby tree close to your busiest gardening spot. Inside, keep your essentials like gloves, scissors, and a small trowel so you can avoid constant trips back and forth. It's like having a mini shed exactly where you need it most. As we get older, saving time and energy becomes essential, and this little hack helps reduce wear and tear on your body, letting you focus on what truly matters, enjoying your garden. Plus, it adds a charming and personal touch to your space. Now, let's talk about heavy planters. How many times have you tried to move a large planter only to find it's just too heavy to budge? While big planters look beautiful, they can be tough on our backs and arms. Here's a trick I've been using for years. Repurpose those plastic nursery pots that always seem to pile up in our sheds. Before adding soil to your planter, place a few of these old nursery pots upside down in the bottom, then fill the remaining space with soil. This not only makes the planter much lighter, but also saves you money on potting soil. Plus, the extra space at the bottom improves drainage, keeping your plants healthier. For those of us who might not have the strength we once did, this is a game changer. It's a budget-friendly, eco-friendly way to make gardening more manageable without sacrificing beauty. And here's a little secret I wish I'd learned sooner. You don't have to replace all your potting soil every time you replant. Instead of tossing it all out, simply remove the top third of the old soil, fluff up what's left, add a fresh layer of potting soil, and mix in some slow-release fertilizer. It's like giving your plants a nutritious reset without the heavy lifting. Those big bags of soil can be tough to manage, and constantly buying new ones adds up. By refreshing rather than replacing your soil, you save money, reduce waste, and lighten the load. Literally, gardening should feel like a joy, not a workout, and this simple adjustment makes sure it stays that way. Now, let's talk about a trick that saves both time and money: dividing plants. Keep an eye out for large perennials at the nursery. Many plants, like hostas and daylilies, grow in clumps that can easily be divided. When you bring one home, you can often split it into 2 or 3 plants right away, a buy one get 2 deal for your garden. I'll be honest, dividing plants has become one of my favorite activities as I've gotten older. You don't need to rush or lift anything heavy. Just grab a garden bench, a small spade, and a little patience. Teasing apart the roots can be therapeutic, almost meditative. And the best part is watching those new plants flourish in their new spots. Here's another quick and clever trick. Line the bottom of your pots with coffee filters. It might sound simple, but coffee filters keep the soil from leaking out while still allowing proper drainage. This means no more messy soil trails on patios or balconies. Plus, coffee filters are biodegradable, so they break down naturally over time. It's an easy, eco-friendly way to keep your space clean without adding extra work. Elevating your planters can also make a world of difference. Use scrap wood or old paint stirrers to create DIY plant feet, raising your pots just a few inches off the ground. This allows water to drain freely, preventing pooling underneath and deterring pests like pill bugs. Cleaning under heavy pots or dealing with unwanted critters can be tough on the knees and back, but these small plant feet make maintenance so much easier. Let's talk about weeds, those pesky little invaders that seem to pop up no matter what we do. Instead of battling them endlessly, use newspaper or cardboard as a natural weed barrier under your mulch. This simple trick cuts down on the constant bending and pulling, making gardening much more manageable. Want a head start on your planting season? Try winter sowing by turning empty plastic bottles into mini greenhouses. Just cut a bottle in half, fill the bottom with soil and seeds, then pop the top half back on with the cap off for ventilation. Place them outside and nature will take care of the rest, creating resilient seedlings without the hassle of indoor grow lights or heating mats. If you're worried about late frosts, everyday items like empty plastic bottles or upside-down nursery pots can act as quick frost shields for delicate plants. Simply cut off the bottom of a bottle and place it over a seedling, or flip a nursery pot upside down over your plant. It's an easy, no-fuss solution that ensures your garden keeps thriving, no matter the weather. For those who love a tidy, organized garden, repurposing household items into plant markers is a great idea. Plastic knives, mini blind slats, or even painted stones make excellent labels that stand up to rain and sun, keeping you from forgetting what you planted. And when it comes to designing new garden beds, ditch the heavy tools and rigid markers. A simple garden hose can be your best friend. Lay it down in different shapes and curves until you find the perfect design, then use it as a guide for digging and planting. Moving heavy rocks can be tricky, but PVC pipes make it easy. Just place the rock on top of a few small PVC pipes and gently roll it forward, shifting the pipes as you go. This takes the strain off your body, letting you add beautiful landscaping elements without risking injury. Lastly, remember that gardening is not just about plants. It's about people too. If gardening ever feels lonely, turn it into a social activity. Join a local gardening club, swap seeds with neighbors, or simply share tips with friends. The connections we make through gardening are just as valuable as the plants we grow. Gardening is a journey, not a race. It's easy to get caught up in perfection, but every small step is something to celebrate. A single bloom, a thriving tomato plant, a weed-free bed. These are all victories. Gardening isn't about having the most perfect yard, it's about the joy it brings to our lives. So take your time, enjoy the process, and remember, it's not about getting everything done, but about creating something beautiful, one step at a time. Thank you for joining me today on Seasoned and Savvy. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Take care, and I'll see you next time.